Hi guys. I have a button-pushing topic for you today. Plus-size model Tess Holliday. She seems like a nice enough person, although she's one of those people that paints their eyebrows on their face, and I will never understand that. But she seems well-meaning, fairly genuine, and her overall message of the whole body acceptance and loving yourself thing is spot on. And it's a message I also fully encourage. Self-acceptance and self-love. The only difference being that I view self-love as more of a verb, like an action word, as in self-love is expressed through actions towards yourself. So to be very clear, I don't have a problem with her as a person. And on a personal level, no, her weight doesn't affect me at all, and I'm super stoked that she's successful and a model and overweight. I could care less. Anyone finding success doing what they love is just fucking fantastic. So while I find her personally perfectly palatable, and I consider her most vocal message to be really empowering for women, glamorizing her body type and health status is just frankly irresponsible. A young woman who's overweight or obese likely feels really uncomfortable with her condition, which is actually appropriate because health-wise and chronic pain-wise, she's in a very dangerous place. But when that young girl or woman sees Tess Holliday, she's encouraged to think that being obese is somehow safe, healthy, or glamorous. So I don't think Tess is disgusting. I don't think she's evil or malicious, but I do think she's promoting a very dangerous, very irresponsible message. I also see evidence that she's fucking delusional and in a real state of denial about her condition and health status. And she's perpetuating that delusion onto a very large number of people. I found this article from a few years ago where she talks about being the face of the A&E series Heavy. In that series, morbidly obese people were encouraged to get healthy, lose weight, to save their lives, which is very realistic. She was interviewed about this and she says, and I quote, "I feel like a cheerleader. At the same time, it's hard for me because I'm not morbidly obese. Although I am overweight, but I am not at the point they are. I don't have a health condition, and I'm not going to die if I don't lose weight. I just happen to be curvy." What? Just happen to be curvy. Well, luckily for accurate analysis, her stats have been well publicized. Although I'm not sure that I believe that her weight is under 300 pounds, and her height has been published as both 5'2" and 5'5". But just for argument's sake, let's say that she's 5'5" and 280 pounds, like it says all over the internet, and that will be the kindest for her BMI. So remember, Tess says that she is not obese. She says that she's overweight. So here's the BMI chart, and you can see that ideal weight is 19 to 25, and overweight is 25 to 30. So using the well-known least extreme version of the stats, we can go to the National Institute of Health and run her BMI and see that she comes in at a very startling 46.6. And if we run it on another website for bariatric surgery, we can see that they probably just rounded it up and she comes in at a solid 47. Since I think we can all agree that Tess is in fact not a bodybuilder and not carrying around huge amounts of muscle that would skew her BMI rating, let's reference our original chart, and we can see that Tess is not just overweight. She doesn't even fall in the obese category. She is, in fact, morbidly obese, the definition of which is a disease without any further diagnosis. So when she says she has no diseases, please know that is not true. We can see that even at these stats, she's actually closer to the super obese category, which, despite the superhero-sounding name, is not awesome. It comes with crippling joint pain, immobility, and a virtual guarantee that you are going to develop chronic degenerative diseases early in your life. I mean, I just can't even imagine how hard Tess's body and her organs have to work just to keep her alive. Her heart is likely highly enlarged with thick muscle walls, a diminished capacity to pump blood, and a thick covering of fat tissue. The arteries throughout her body are very likely clogged with plaque, which causes heart disease, high blood pressure, and idiopathic back pain, just to name a few. Her kidneys will be pushed to the max trying to maintain proper balance of fluid, electrolytes, and blood pressure. Her liver is more likely than not developing the same damage that's associated with alcoholism. And her pancreas is very, very likely stressed to the max, trying to produce enough insulin to counteract the insulin resistance that is unavoidable with this level of obesity. And as I'm sure you can imagine, obesity is in fact a full body disease, with no tissue escaping the adverse consequences. We also know for a fact that adipose tissue, or fat tissue, is active as an endocrine organ, and it produces huge amounts of disease-causing inflammation that perpetuates the cycle of obesity. The health implications of obesity are in fact unavoidable, but they are very, very preventable, and we'll talk about that shortly. Obesity is a very dangerous disease. It should not be glorified or normalized any more than alcohol and drug abuse, diabetes, kidney failure, multiple sclerosis, depression, or self-harm should be glorified and normalized. And to address the implication that by my saying that Tess is in fact unhealthy, I am saying that she and her followers cannot love themselves, to that I say, self-love is an incredibly potent, beautiful, and necessary message. But let's not get confused about what constitutes self-love. Like I said earlier, self-love is action. Beating yourself absolute trash, ignoring exercise, and setting yourself up for painful, chronic, degenerative diseases is not self-love. Never has been, never will be. Self-love is nourishing your body with foods that it was meant to eat, staying well hydrated, sleeping well and regularly, and taking time to relax and enjoy our beautiful world while we connect with others around us in a meaningful way. That is self-love. Self-love is synonymous with self-care, and self-acceptance is equally as vital as self-love. But let's not confuse self-acceptance with apathy. Accepting yourself and your body at your current weight and health status is possible without resigning yourself to staying the same. When embarking on a new lifestyle or trying to lose weight, realizing that you are worthy of self-acceptance and self-love will help to solidify your new healthy choices. If you're overweight, obese, or morbidly obese, you can definitely make changes that will significantly change your health outcome. Your absolute best bet is switching to a carbohydrate-rich, plant-based vegan diet. On a carbohydrate-rich, plant-based vegan diet, you do not have to drastically cut your calories to some dangerous, unsustainable number. You eat until you're satiated, consuming at least 2,000 to 2,500 calories of whole plant foods every day. You never have to feel hungry or deprived. This diet is also the perfect way to help normalize your appetite and work through any binge eating patterns you might have. And it is the ideal diet for creating the energy that you need to really feel like you actually want to exercise. A carbohydrate-rich, plant-based vegan diet is the most sustainable and easy way I have ever found to easily and permanently lose weight. There are literally hundreds of stories all over the internet of people who were overweight, obese, morbidly obese, who went on this type of lifestyle and lost huge amounts of weight and have been able to keep it off and have reversed so many health conditions. Foods from animals, that's meat, dairy, eggs, are, in addition to being incredibly cruel, promote obesity and other diseases like diabetes, heart disease, cancer, autoimmune diseases, and many, many others. Humans are not designed to be carnivorous or omnivorous. We are not designed to eat hyper-palatable, chemical-laden, processed junk food. We are designed to eat whole, high-carb, plant foods. And it is through this diet that we find true health, balance, and self-love. Hopefully, Tess will wake up from her delusion and realize that simple changes can have huge impacts on her health outcome, and not only hers, but for her son as well. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. They're all down there. I'm not afraid of the comment section. You guys can go crazy. I'm sure most of the people writing ugly comments already have. I'll see you down there. There's also a subscribe button, so you guys can stay in touch with all of the awesomeness that I put out, and a like button somewhere. Over there, maybe? I don't know. So again, thank you for watching. It's up to you to take responsibility for your health and your happiness. I'm not even kidding. It's all on you. So you need to go out there into your life, into your real life, outside of YouTube, and make better choices for yourself, because nobody else is going to. Thank you. That is all I have to say for this moment. I will be back later.